I want this part of the station to come out a little bit more, to look a little bit more important. Right now I'm going to use the extrude tool again. This still looks cheap, so I'm gonna fiddle with the vertices a bit. Okay, enough of extruding now. Let's create a few new polygons here. Now that I deleted the polygons down there, I'm gonna create some new ones by clicking the create button on top right. Okay, so far for the main body. I'm going to make similar things to the satellites around my main thing. Of course I cannot tape everything. That would result in a 3-hour video, which is definitely too long. Okay, I'm done with my satellite stations. What follows now is actually the most important part for doing proper BOTF models, so have a close look. In order to have a better view, I have removed all the other objects except of my main body. I think you can already guess what this thing would look like if we'd import it into BOTF right now. It would be quite a mess, as I showed before, so we need to do something about that. What I'm doing right now is selecting polygons that have a convex shape and detach them into a separate object. Once I'm done, I'm hiding these new objects in order to have a better view on the rest of the body. I start with the simple part, the top and the bottom of my base. Okay, done. Hide this one as well. This one looks a little bit more difficult, but it's actually nothing else than a box with a hole in it. Just be sure to have all the faces selected. Like there, I forgot the back side. Okay, there we go. Detach it and hide it. Now this thing is a little bit more difficult. It sometimes helps using the front or top view in order to find more convex parts of it, which you can detach. I'm gonna use the front view here. Let's see if I find something. This looks good. Nope. I think that's not it. No, I have no use for that. So need another one. This one. Now this looks difficult, but actually isn't. If you have a close look, you can see that there's a cube and something attached to the side. So I'm simply gonna select the cube and detach it. I'm done grouping my model. Now let's add a few tubes to it. Oh, and I found a mistake I made. If you have a look at the lime green thing, it's being selected right now. You see it's still one object, even though it's concave. So this is gonna look quite weird in a creator. I'm creating a primitive tube now, or actually it's not a tube, it's only a cylinder because we don't need to see the inside of it. Then bend it 90 degrees using the bend tools, and then attach it to the body using the snap tool. So this is my tube facing the wrong direction, so I need to rotate it 90 degrees. And it's of course also way too fat for a Borg tube. Borg tubes are long and thin, so I need to make a thin tube. Now there should be a tool called bend. Yeah, there it is, which allows me to bend my tube in whichever direction I want and in any angle I want. Angle is 90 degrees, of course. There we go, this looks good. Now I'm going to attach this thing to the station's body using the snap tool. I selected snap to edge, so I can pick the tube's edge and make it snap to an edge somewhere on the station. And now if I'm going to zoom in, you see it's actually not intersecting the station itself. It looks weird, it looks like it is sticking in the station, but it's only touching it, so creator won't complain about it and this will separate fine. Now do the same with the rest of the tube. Just move it a little bit lower, the right place. And right now the tube goes into nothing, so I select the vertices on the tube's bottom and make them snap to the polygon right below them, to the lime green polygon below them. Okay, I got the right vertices selected. Now I need to configure the snap tool. I want my vertices to snap to the polygon below, so I pick snap to polygon and snap to vertex. And as you see, it's the same here. The tube is only touching the polygon. It's not intersectioning. So one tube is actually not enough. So I'm gonna make two more. I simply copy those. Be sure to select copy. Now I can move them a little bit to the right. There we go, one. And the same with the second copy. There we go, two. So 3 tubes, Borg tubes. So far so good. I'm going to make the connections between the main body and the satellites later. Let's have a look about making transwarp gates first. Every Borg base needs transwarp gates, so this is very important. Good, now for the transwarp gates. I thought I'd make similar transwarp gates as we saw them in the last Voyager episode, the endgame episode. I start by creating a tube, a very short one, and then as soon as this one is finished I'm going to make another one, a smaller one, so we have some kind of double transwarp gates. I got the first ring done, and now instead of creating another one I simply copy this one and change its size a bit, so I'm gonna have this kind of double transwarp gates as we saw them in Star Trek Voyager. So this is my transwarp gate draft. You can imagine this would still look quite